Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam to all the devotees. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bol to His Grace Ramchandra Prabhuji, Vishwanath Prabhuji, Pawan Prabhuji for leading the chanting this morning, and Pandit Shivas Prabhu as well. So let's continue with our Mangalacharan and then reading. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, any devotee would like to sing our prayer of the week today? It's very similar to Vrindavana Ramya Sthana as we've been singing. Okay, I will continue today then. Hopefully later in the week we can have other devotees sing. Alright, so this is verse 5 of Shri Shikshashtakam. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budhau kripaya tava pada pankaja stitadhuli sadrishim vichintaya. Anadi karama phale podi bhavarnava jale Tori bare na dekhi upaya e vishaya halahale divani shihiya jwale mana kabhu sukha nahi paya asha pasha shata shata klesha deya avirata Pravritti urmirata hi khela Kama krodha adi choya Bata pade deya bhoya Avasana hoilo arsi bela Jnana karma thagadui More pratariya loi avasheshe phele sindhu jale ehe no samaye bandhu tumi Krishna kripa sindhu kripa kori tolo more bale Patita kinkore dhori Pada padma dhuli kori Deho bhakti vinode ashroya Amitava nitya das Bhuliya mayara pasha Baddha hoye achi toya moya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashay ki jai, Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Shri Geetavali ki jai, पतित पावन जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय जय जय. Okay, anybody would like to read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read please?
Hare Krishna, Ritesh Prabhu. Yes, please. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I have fallen into the ocean of material existence as a result of my selfish activities, which are without beginning, and I see no means of deliverance from the great ocean of nescience. Day and night, my heart burns from the poison of these worldly activities, and my account of this my mind never finds any satisfaction or happiness. Hundreds and thousands of desires, like nooses around my neck, constantly give me misery and trouble. In that ocean of nescience play the waves of materialistic tendency. In this world, there are many thieves and rogues, of whom six are prominent: lust, anger, greed, illusion, and madness. They are causing me great fear, and in this way, my life is coming to an end. The two highway robbers, mental speculation, and fruitive activity have cheated me and misled me, and finally they are throwing me into the ocean of misery. At such a time as this, my dear Krishna, you are the only friend, and you are the ocean of mercy and compassion. I have no strength to get out of the ocean of nescience, so I pray to your lotus feet that you will be kind and by your strength uplift me from the ocean of suffering. Accept this fallen servant and fix me as a particle of dust on your lotus feet. Kindly give me shelter to this Bhakti Vinoda. O most merciful Lord, actually I am your eternal servant, but having forgotten this, I have become bound to the network of Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu. Anything you want to share that you liked from this bhajan?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, each and every line has a deep meaning, and I will accept that yes, all the words that they have been described are very, very true, even to this age. I mean, we, no matter what we do, we are always consistently surrounded by Maya. And at the same time, we know whether it is work or whether we are getting some work done, we are always surrounded by greed. We are also surrounded by desires. And there's like still in this world there's a competition, there's still anger within the workplace, within the environment. But by having the Krishna's name, by having the mercy of the Lord, by again and again throwing ourselves at the lotus feet of Krishna, we are still flowing with a very positive attitude. uh, we sometimes forgot that we are the eternal servant of the Lord, and we think that okay, at work we are a boss, or at work we are like comparing, we are managing the things or things. But Maya, which is comes in different forms, always gets us, whether it's in the name of our love for the kids, where they are asking for something else, and where we want to do the best for that, and where we fail to get the best for them in comparison, when we start comparing with the other kids or something like that. So the network of Maya is boundless. But by throwing ourselves and by reminding ourselves that we are the eternal servant of the Lord, we get so much immense, like the inner spirit and the inner peace, that all that things are forgotten. And if we think that as a servant of the God, we are just carrying his duties, we can lead out of this Maya world in a very peaceful way. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mm. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu, for your wonderful practical day-to-day life application. Yes. Yeah, so at our work also, yeah, just when we have the holy name on our tongue and we are chanting, we are remembering the Lord, then, we get so much of inner confidence because we are surrendered to the Lord, and we know that the Lord is guiding us all along. And yeah, with that, we get so much of confidence, so much of inner strength to tide over all problems, even though there will always be turbulences, because this is a material ocean, right? So in the ocean there is always turbulence. Like in the air also, when you go in the flight, there is always turbulence. Or when there is turbulence, you start chanting the holy name. So So yeah, in this ocean, material ocean, there is always turbulence. As you were saying, I was remembering, like, I at work, my boss is also very, very. She's a staunch Christian, but she also prays whenever, and she's based in Georgia. So whenever I talk with her, in her background there is George Harrison's picture. So we always talk with George Harrison, as we said, gave the initial donation amount for this book to be published, the Krishna book that we are reading. So anyway, so she's also a fan of George Harrison, and then whenever we have trouble, at work, there's always something going on, right? They're asking. I mean, already everybody's working 5 days a week at office, and always there's some change or the other going on after. So again, there was some recent changes happening, multiple changes, and she's remote, but she's first thing she said is, "I will pray, I will pray that everything goes well." So anyway, so that reminded me of that workplace. When we have, then Krishna puts you in company of such people, right? I didn't do anything, but yeah, he put me into. I got a new boss just 6 months ago, so now I'm in safe company because she's also very, lover of God, and so our wavelengths always match in terms of whatever we do, however we act. So like that, yeah, Krishna is always there helping his devotees and like we were reading yesterday, Krishna comes to, main reason is to give pleasure to his devotees, right? The secondary reason is to kill the demons. He doesn't have to come to kill the demons. Actually, funny thing, yesterday I was sharing, yesterday evening we are reading Teachings of Queen Kunti, almost towards the end, we are in chapter 17, and there also Prabhupada was talking exactly of how Kunti Maharani was saying that you come to lessen the burden of the world, just like a boat at the sea is overburdened, and Krishna comes to lessen the burden of the world. And exactly the same thing we were reading yesterday in Krishna book in the morning. So both in the morning and evening, and like you said, the last part here that we read, that all the demigods come to assist the Lord in his pastimes, and it also said that they were also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear by the order of the Supreme Lord just to execute his purpose. So the choice is ours, whether we associate with Maya or with Krishna, right? So whether we want the Trishna of this world, of this Jagat, or we want Krishna, the choice is ours. Krishna always gives us the choice, the free will, right? But the Maya Devi is there, yes, so she is always going to test us at every step. We cannot become complacent. Even though we are performing bhakti, it's like, yeah, our desire is to attain the lotus feet of the Lord, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying. But to attain that is not very easy, right? Krishna and Maya Devi will test us. She is an agent of the Lord. She will test us at every step. What do you really want? Do you really want Krishna, or you want, really some happiness, joy in this world? And it will test us by giving us all facilities, even at work. You will get promoted, you will have, and it's not bad, again, having name, fame, having, wealth, I think is bad if we are using it in the service of Krishna. But if we get lost in those adorations, adulations, name, fame, wealth, then yes, then we fail the test, because those tests will come. Like we said, three things: na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, right? The dhanam will come, wealth will come, janam will come. You will get a lot of name, fame, a lot of followers, post, position, paisa, sab aayega, right? And if we get lost in that, then that's it. Then we fail the test there. And finally, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, and then of course the alluration of the opposite sex is always there. That is there at every step. So all these things will come. Even for, it is not for whether you are brahmachari or grihastha or vanaprastha or sannyasi, even to sannyasi level, Maya will never stop testing us until we actually attain the prema bhakti, prema at the lotus feet of the Lord. Even at the stage of bhava bhakti, we can fall down, like we have seen examples like Bilva Mangal Thakur and even Bharat Maharaj. He got attracted to a deer, even though he was at the stage of bhava bhakti. So we should never become complacent in this world as long as we are here. Maya Devi will always test us. That is her duty, that is her purpose, why Krishna has brought her here. So if we are really, really sincere and desiring only Krishna, then only until we attain him, we cannot become complacent. Yes. Okay, so let's continue here. Any volunteers, devotees who would like to read today? Can. Yesterday we had Aarti Mataji and Ritesh Prabhu read.
Hare
So,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods as well as Bhumi with sweet words, Lord Brahma, the father of all Prajapatis, the progenitors of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahmaloka. The leader of the Yadu dynasty, King Sureshna, was ruling over the country known as Mathura, wherein lies the city of Mathura, as well as the district known as Surashena, which was named after him on account of the rule of King Surashena. Prabhuji, am I saying it right? Surasena.
Shurasena. Sure, this is Shurasena.
Shursen, that's what I thought. Thank you, Prabhuji. On the account of the rule of King Shursen, Mathura became the capital city of all the kings of the Yadus. Mathura was also made the capital of the kings of the Yadu dynasty because the Yadus were a very pious family and knew that Mathura is a place where Lord Sri Krishna lives eternally, just as he also lives in Dwarka. Once upon a time, Vasudev, the son of Shursena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devka, had contributed a sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate towards his daughter. He had controlled hundreds of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kansa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva chariot and was driving.
This is Vasudev. So there is a slight because this is Vasudev, not A. Vasudev is the son is sorry is the father of Krishna, and Krishna is known as Vasudev. So there is a
Oh,
difference. So yeah,
horse of
Vasudev.
Vasudev. Oh, I see. Thank you, Prabhuji. Reins of the horses of Vasudev's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of the Vedic civilization, when the girl is married, the brother takes the sister and brother in law to their home because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's family. The brother goes with her until she reaches her father in law's house. The full dowry contributed by Devka was as follows: 400 elephants, fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, and 1,800 chariots. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow his daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage is still current in India, dictates that when a Kshatriya is married, a few dozen of bride's young girlfriends, in addition to the bride, go to the house of the king. The followers of the queen are called maid servants, but actually they are as friends as of the queen. They are as friends of the queen. The practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudev brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife Devki. While the bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot, there were different kinds of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conch shells, bugles, drums, and cattle drums. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passing very pleasingly, and Kansa was driving the chariot, when suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, which especially announced to Kansa, Kansa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother in law, but you do not know the eighth child of your sister will kill you. Kansa was the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoj dynasty. It is said that Kansa was the most demonic of all the Bhoj dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished of astonished of Kansa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows. With great reason and evidence, he said, "My dear brother-in-law, Kansa, you are the most famous king of Bhoj dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and the valiant king. How is that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? Death is already born along with your birth. From the very day you took your birth, you begin to die. Suppose you are 25 years old. This means you have already died 25 years. Every moment, every second, you are dying. Then why should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years. You cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the five elements of material nature, the living entity within the body accepts another body according to his present actions and reaction. It is just like when a man walks on the streets, he puts forwards his foot, and before and when he is confident that his foot is situated on sound grounds, he lifts the other foot on the other way, one after another. The body changes and the soul transmigrates. See how the plant forms, changes from one twig to another so carefully. Similarly, the living entity changes his body as soon as the higher authorities decide on his next body. As long as a living entity is conditioned within his material world, he must make material bodies one after another. His next material body is offered by the laws of nature according to the actions and reactions of this life. The body is exactly like one of the bodies which we always see in dreams. During our dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold and we have also seen a mountain. So in a dream, we can see a golden mountain by combining the two ideas. Sometimes in dream, we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky. At this time, we completely forget our present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you won't forget the past body. During a dream, we may make connect with so many new kinds of bodies, but when we are awake, we forget them all. And actually, these material bodies are the creations of our mental activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies. The nature of the mind of flickering is flickering. Sometimes it accepts something and immediately it rejects the same thing. Accepting and rejecting to the process of the mind in contact with the five objects of sense gratification: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. It, in its speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification, and when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts a body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, we cannot enjoy or suffer according to our mental proclivities inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to our mental conditions at the time of death. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The luminous planets, like the sun, moon, or the stars, reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs, like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves accordingly to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving, but actually the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental connection, the living entity attains different kind of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies, but on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. There is no way of conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community, or a particular country, or a particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body, which is not required by him. Such desires and mental connections are the cause of different types of bodies. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with the body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg no request you not to overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body. Vasudev thus requested Kansa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear, both in this world and in the next. When one is before Yamraj, the lord of punishment after death, Vasudeva appealed to Kansa on behalf of Devki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also prepared at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother is supposed to be the protector, to be protected as one's child. The position is overall so delicate. Vasudev reasoned that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. In this way, Vasudev tried to pacify Kansa by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination. But Kans was not to be pacified because his association was demonic. Because of his demonic association, he was a demon. Although born in a very high royal family, a demon never cares for any good instructions. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instructions, but it would not be effective. Similarly, those who are demonic or atheist by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. There is a difference between demigods and demons. Those who can accept good instructions and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instructions are called demons. Falling to his attempt to pacify Kansa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, there is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties. But if the attempts fail, he is not at fault. Vasudev thought of his wife as follows: for the present, let me save the life of Devki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall be how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kans, such as Kans is thinking, both Devki and the child will be saved because the law and the providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devki. There is certainty how a living entity contacts a certain types of body, just as there is no certainty there is a blazing fire comes in contact with certain types of words in the forest. When there is forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful to the matter of executing his duties, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharata was very faithful, executing the duties of self-realization. But by chance, he developed temporary affection for a deer, and in the next life, he had to accept the body of deer.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Pause
Prabhuji.
here. Thank you, Prabhu, so much. Wonderful coincidence. We were just talking about Bharat Maharaj. I was remembering him, and Prabhupada brings him here. Okay. Yeah, so a few things as you were reading. At the workplace, I was also thinking, how this world of misery. So one of my colleagues' wife, they're in the late 40s, 48, 49, I think. His wife recently had a heart attack last week, and so he was sharing. Yesterday he came to office after almost a week, but now she's, by God's grace, she's feeling well. She's recovering well, and so he was not yet, well, yesterday he came, but then last Friday he was online, so he was sharing that it was just so sudden. Everything happened so suddenly, and then they take her to hospital, and then he was they had to even airlift her, and so he said that he was absolutely thinking that she will leave, like based on her condition, but somehow she survived. So on Friday, and he was online, he was sharing that how we all sent a card for him and all our best wishes. So he was very touched by that, but then he was sharing that how he felt in his response back to us. He wrote that he 100% is convinced that there is a higher power which saved her, and he said, like, these are his words. He said, no, nobody can convince me otherwise. Again, I was just reflecting on that, like how for those who have faith in the Lord, for them he's always there, right? And for those who don't, then they are demoniac, like Prabhupada is explaining here. So there are always two categories of people. There are demons, and then there are sur and there are asur, right? So devatas, and So demigods, like here, they are taking birth in the families of pious families before the Lord appears. So like that, there will always be devatas, demigods, and then there will always be demons. It's just that the proportion changes from time to time, from yuga to yuga. Yesterday also, when we were reading Queen Kunti's prayers, Prabhupada is explaining the same thing, that yeah, there will always be demons, and then there will always be demigods. It's just that when the proportion increases of the demons, then Krishna comes to annihilate the demons. But even that, Prabhupada was saying, that is the secondary reason, because he can just, if he has to wipe out even 1,000,000 people or 1,000,000,000 people, he can just cause like these natural calamities like forest fires. We see so many volcanoes erupting, earthquakes happening, tornadoes, hurricanes, right? Even in America here, I was sharing yesterday, when we were at the gym on Sunday, I was seeing on the TV how there are forest fires going on in Georgia, and it always happens, like Prabhupada explained here, right? The wood will catch fire, and then wind will make sure that the fire spreads more and more. Even though humans are trying to control the fire, it is very difficult. So yeah, so Krishna can kill, if he wants to kill 1,000,000 people, he can cause a plane crash. That is like a group karma. We say sometimes that people have group karma, then then there are those plane crashes where people die, right? So Krishna doesn't really have to come to kill the demons, right? Just with his one blink of an eyelid, the entire universe is created. So why does he need to come to kill the demons, right? He can just sit as Paramatma in the heart, just give one heart attack, and then they can die, right? But when Krishna wants to save, right? Mare Krishna, Rakhe Krishna, Mare Ke. So when Krishna wants to save those who are believers, those who are theists, then yes, that the case study of my colleague's wife, even though she went through heart attack, but now she is hale and fine, she is recovering well. And then that increases the faith of those devotees in the Lord, that yes, the Lord is always there to protect his devotees, right? And Krishna says that to Arjuna, that Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakte pranashikta. Kaunteya, you boldly announce that my devotees will never perish, right? So why is that Krishna tells Arjuna to? Krishna himself can say that, right? That my devotees will never perish. But he asks Arjuna to boldly declare. And why does he say that? Because Krishna, as we know, Krishna can break his own promise, right? When Bhishma Dev challenged him, because Bhishma Dev wanted to see him in the Viryaras, in the spirit of fighting, Krishna told before the battle that I will not pick up any weapon, but still he had to fight just to please his devotee Bhishma. So he can break his own promise. But if his devotee says something, Krishna will put all his energies behind his devotee's words, right? And so he will. So that's why he's telling Arjuna that you declare boldly that my devotees will never perish. Because when Arjuna says that is his pure devotee speaking. And now that his pure devotee has told that, Krishna will make sure, at the expense of his own words, he will make sure that those words never become false. So that is how much he loves his pure devotees. So that is what we learn. And when we read these books again, when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, right, because these are words that Srila Prabhupada has spoken, so every word is true here. And if we believe, then yes, Krishna will make sure that, if we are trying to sincerely follow these instructions, then we will never fall down. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Thank you. All right. Yes. Anybody was saying something? Is it Nalin Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
no, I was just adding your point. That is a very good reflection what you shared. Like always we take granted, right? Okay, everything is going good and all, right? But if you have full faith, definitely will believe that what is the reality. Because sometimes the illusion, which is not a reality, we think that is a reality. So as long as you don't tag Krishna in your day-to-day life, because as you said, in all stages, right? Student or household or retirement or renunciation stage, the Maya will keep testing you, how much you are distracting from your actual path, actual goal. So in all stages, definitely Maya will keep testing you. So when you keep tagging, right? Because all we are here on this earth, or we'll have material desires, everything. But as long as we don't tag Krishna and we don't have right association, this Maya will keep testing you and distract you. And it will not make you reach to the main goal of our human birth. Yeah, so that is very important. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nalin Prabhu. Yeah, Maya Devi will always test, like I said, depend on which ashram you are. Sometimes sannyasis think that they are very advanced, right? But there are also sannyasis who have fallen down, right? All different levels. Krishna and Maya will test at different levels. For those who are renounced, who are, we see, that's why we see there are so many Dhongi Babajis, so many Dhongi gurus, right? Because they are just wanting to cheat. They are already illusioned by Maya. They are trying to cheat, and then those who want to get cheated, who are not pure devotees, they will become cheated also by following such gurus, right? Because they are after some name, fame. They're even after all of that, after Kanak Kamini, Kirti, if we are able to cross through those, then Maya will give us all the siddhis, right? That's why we see there are some Babajis who have some siddhis. They will just by chutki bajake, they will bring sona in the gold in their hand, and people will become, foolish people will become, illusioned by that, and they'll start believing that, oh, he's God, he can do like this, right? So those are all just siddhis. Those are nothing. So those kind of siddhis will also come. People can walk on water. They can become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest. So these are all siddhis. So all these will also come. And if we get attracted and attached just to them, then that is again, test that Maya is putting, and we get failed there in that test. So like that. So it's not, this path is a long path. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So in different stages, which ashram we are, in Grihastha ashram, yes, we will have our own challenges. But yeah, like Prabhupada says, we don't have to become neglectful. We have to be dutiful. We have to continue to do our duties wherever the Lord has placed us. That's why yesterday also we were saying that when we read these biographies, when we read about the pastimes of these acharyas, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, even Bhakti Siddhanta, and our Srila Prabhupada, he was in the Grihastha ashram. So until he was in the Grihastha ashram, how he performed, his bhakti, even while staying with his family, while when he was growing up, he worshipped the deities that his father gave him. He did the Rath Yatra card that his father brought him. He was singing, he was writing, and he was meditating on the instruction of his Guru Maharaj. And then as he got into Vanaprastha and then Sannyas, then he fulfilled the wish of his Guru Maharaj. But wherever we are placed, we can always remember Krishna, at least, and we can continue our duties. That's what we are trying to do every day. We are trying to remember the Lord. We are trying to do these programs, morning, read, chant, sing these bhajans, remember the Lord during our day, continue to chant as we are remembering, right? So these are things which we can easily do even on a Grihastha ashram, and we don't have to give up anything, because if we keep Krishna in the center, then everything else becomes perfect. Like Prabhupada saying, everything else will follow. We just have to become determined. Yes, thank you, Lalan Prabhu. Anybody
So
else would like to say anything?
tagging in all your duty, everything is best, I thought, because Maya is so powerful. Prabhu, it distracts us. So tagging Krishna in all the, like, on your duty, on your professional life, your personal life, right? So if you tag Krishna, definitely Maya will go away.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything, share anything, any other remembrance of the Lord through the week? Hopefully that is
Hare
continuing.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Anandini Mataji. Yes,
So
please.
I just wanted to say, let us all pray for Agnidev Prabhu. He
Yes.
got stroke and he has contributed so much. And I remember when Madhavi was being born, we were playing his kirtan. So, his kirtans have inspired so many people. And if we all pray for him and for his protection, that will be wonderful.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Why not, everybody? Let's unmute, and we can at least chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra all in unison, and then of course we can always also chant one extra round for Prabhuji today. But let's all unmute and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Our
Hare
desires.
Krishna.
May He protect His pure devotees. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji, for bringing that up. Yeah, you can always chant extra rounds and power. There's a lot of power in prayers, and yeah, if you pray, then Krishna always takes care of his devotees. Okay, thank you all for your wonderful association. We'll pause here for today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.